Who are the people you think of as losers? People who can't admit when they are wrong, or refuse to admit they're wrong. Yes, agreed, and also people who don't say sorry or say I'm sorry. You feel I lied, etc. I'm sorry you feel that way. People who have to put others down in order to make themselves feel better. Also people who can't take responsibility for their actions. My sister-in-law steals from food banks and ends up throwing out most of it. I think that makes you a loser. WTF. That was my first thought too. Like, how does someone even steal from food banks? People who have an overinflated sense of entitlement, lack empathy, and refuse to consider context. My God. I work in the medical field and 2 of my coworkers are beyond petty and fragile. If someone comes late a couple times, they won't see them even if the person after them canceled. So they could see a medical patient, but won't. I get it, whatever. But now we're just going to reschedule them. And they'll be pissed off, and now we're sitting around with nothing to do. And you're adding them to some random day in the future, which will now be not an easy day. People who go out of their way to be rude or nasty to people who enjoy things. For example, if you don't like a video game and you stay on that subreddit to shit-talk the game, and anyone who likes it, then you're a loser. If you don't like a movie and you take the time and energy to insult people who do like it, then you're a loser. If someone has a harmless hobby they enjoy, and you ridicule them for it, you're a loser. People who peel out and squill their tires for no reason, other than wanting attention. People who get outraged at sports games, especially kids' sports games. People who just have to bring down the mood by being skeptical or critical of absolutely everything, like they're allergic to being happy. People who only know how to carry a conversation, if they're complaining, are entirely insufferable to me. People to focus on others' lives rather than their own. Judgmental with a false sense of superiority. If you see a homeless person on the side of the road eating in front of them, doesn't make you better. Ultra-wealthy folks who like to tell others to work hard. My trust fund friend literally said no one wants to work anymore, while I was standing there with 2 jobs like. Gamers who can't have fun unless they win. The most pitiful part is they think everyone else is just salty when they do. When we care less about dick measuring on the scoreboard than having a good time. People who constantly complain about their life situation, but do nothing to change it. Influencers. Oh my God, so much. Get an actual job, people. They will once we stop taking them seriously. And they won't get paid anymore. Adults who still think they are in high school. Employers that cut people's jobs then give themselves a bonus. Yes, they are winning money, but clearly they haven't seen when it gets to a point that their time is limited. Most Redditors specifically are /anti-work people. People who put their milk before the cereal. People who flex about getting drunk on the weekends. Incurious people. People who don't want to learn or reflect or get better. People who deny facts. People who don't want to change to be better. I pity them. People who post curated photo shoots of their holidays on Facebook and Instagram in the hope to elicit envy from others. If the holiday was that great, you wouldn't be spending the time putting on a performance for the camera to show everybody who wasn't there how great it was. You'd just enjoy yourself. Anyone who can't just own their own bullcrap. I am a retail manager at 30 years old. A lot of my employees are 10+ years older than me. The amount of grown adults starting junior high drama. And then lying about it when they get called out is crazy to me. You're that bored with your own life, get a hobby. People that only focus on appearances and have no substance. People who don't hold the elevator door when they see you rushing towards it. People that send death threats to actors, directors, game devs, etc. because they don't like their product. People who complain about government-backed welfare programs, except when they benefit themselves. People who don't pick up their dog's crap. People who leave shopping carts in the middle of the parking lot. Anyone that drives around with a big flag attached to their car. Workaholics and people who slit throats to get ahead. TikTokers making all these videos to feed their likes addiction. Narcissists. People who have to be better than everyone else in order to feed their precious ego the one and only true love of their lives, Karens. Most take their frustrations out on strangers just because in their private lives they aren't in control. Bosses who use their authority to belittle staff purely because they are in charge. I consider a good boss to not really be a boss at all but a leader. You lead your staff. Probably the most important one, people who blindly follow whatever trend or current thing there is. People who refuse to think by themselves. People who feel the need to make other people suffer to make up for their own suffering. Parents whose adult children have decided to cut contact with them, who then try to weaponize other members of their family community to pressure the child, who went no contact. Anyone who constantly blames their bad situation on someone else, while putting in minimal effort and having a complete unwillingness to change, due to every woe is me excuse they can think of, with the exception of the absolutely disabled. People who cannot and will not hold themselves accountable for anything. Instead, those people would rather flip it and make everything your fault. They truly believe they are strong when they are actually nothing more than insufferable losers. Those who are proudly anti-intellectual. Being deliberately dumb and remaining so intentionally isn't something to take pride in. One-uppers. Extend this to include what I like to call one-downers. People who will hear you venting or complaining and but in to tell you, sometimes lying through their teeth how much worse things are for them. People who go out of their way to be rude. Like when you see people disconnecting charging cars, or go to a handicapped parked car and ask to see their disability. They had to stop what they were doing, even go in the opposite direction of their original destination, just to be a bleep. And what do they want? Like, what do they expect to happen at that moment? Run across the street and instantly buy a gas car. Truly, your life must be devoid of all purpose and meaning. Rich people who don't try to help anyone. Politicians who are only in it for themselves and not to make things better for everyone. Anyone who hurts animals or abuses others. Self-proclaimed pranksters that will do absolutely anything to any stranger just to get views and likes. Also, and perhaps even worse, people who fake and then film and post ridiculous scenarios for the same reason. Holy bleep. Please just work on a skill or read a book. Those who have to own the most expensive of anything. Let kids be kids' parents. When their kids are absolute little bastards who hurt, bully other kids or people in general. People who flood social media with wisdom and life coaching messages, and in real life are absolute losers who won't follow any of that crap they post. I don't think of anyone as a loser. Most people are just trying to survive, and while we all don't necessarily make the best decisions, we're still human and everyone deserves a little bit of empathy. Like and subscribe for more Reddit comment thread videos. And leave a comment about who annoys you the most.